Everything mentioned in this video will be referencing my first playthrough of Detroit Become Human and not the game as a complete whole. The link to that playlist is in my description, so without further ado, let's hop into it. So other than the fact that I was simping over Connor the entire game because, let's be real, like, he's, I do think that Connor has the best story out of the three main characters. I just like his arc and how he becomes more of a deviant over time as opposed to Kara and Marcus having a definitive moment early on. I think that my main mistake with my playthrough is that I made choices that I would have made instead of choices that I think Connor would have made that would have, made the story more interesting. But I didn't like how towards the end, once he becomes deviant, he decides to prove himself by doing an insane mission that is completely unnecessary all by himself. And that was really frustrating. As for Kara, she is irresponsible, okay? She is in charge of taking care of a little girl who is cold and hungry only a few hours after escaping Todd and who remains cold and hungry for the next several days up until they reach Rose. She also trusts people too easily. She thought that Zlata's place was safe and didn't really listen to Alice when she said that she wanted to leave. Additionally, she ignored Luther multiple times when he said that he wanted to talk about Alice, even though they had plenty of time to sit down and talk about it. And then there's Marcus, okay? I really liked his story up until the android junkyard where he was like replacing limbs and like killing people and like crawling out of that place. But after then, he had so much potential. Okay, so I'm bringing race into this. As an Asian American, it's really difficult for me to like Marcus or take him seriously. When Asians face discrimination, we just kind of deal with it. We don't really like to start a rebellion or like do marches and shit. We just get up, study hard, become a doctor, get rich, and move on about our day. The mistreatment that I saw in Detroit wasn't really enough for me to care about fighting back. Like, oh, you got pushed around a little bit, boo-hoo. Also, they're androids, and you can disagree with me here, but I'm on the human side. Like, the main issue is that androids took away human jobs, which I think is a pretty reasonable thing to be upset about, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that all humans hate androids. Obviously, there's a large market for them, and we see a lot of people who are happy with their androids. Another thing that I didn't like about Marcus is that it was way too easy for him to convert other androids to his cause. All he had to do was touch them. There was no convincing or actions involved. I just wish there were more steps needed to convert them. I mean, at one point, he's even able to do it telepathically. I kept trying to please all sides, which is not the way to go for his route. I feel like the game wants you to pick all or nothing, a full-blown violent rebellion, or a peaceful protest, nothing in between. I love Hank. Alice is cold the entire time. I'm surprised that she hasn't died of hypothermia. Oh wait, she's an android? Her being an android devalues Kara's entire story and also doesn't make sense when you replay the game. If Todd hated androids so much, why would he get an android child? Also, my friend Alan sent me this image, which I think is really funny. But literally, why is she so freaking cold all the time? Okay, Kara literally says towards the end, oh, they're doing temperature checks, meaning that androids probably don't get cold or like overheat or like have a normal body temperature. Also, I'm sorry, but sometimes Alice is just a little too coddled. Let's pretend she's not an android for a second for the sake of my sanity. In my playthrough, Todd, her dad, was an abusive drug and alcohol addict who Kara shot and killed. That is highly, highly traumatic. And I'm no psychologist by any means, but wouldn't Alice develop a little bit of a thick skin at a certain point? I mean, by the end of the game, she can't even get out of a car or even walk by herself. And this is a 9-year-old that we're talking about. Okay, I don't know about you, but when I was 9, I was running around doing cartwheels and shit. Like, I know Alice is a kid, but they're treating her like she's 3. I also just wish that there was at least some character development, like how Clementine from The Walking Dead starts out scared, but over time she learns how to shoot a gun and actually protect herself. It would have been nice to see Alice protect Kara in some way. That way it wouldn't be so one-sided. I think the best moment for that would have been at Zlatko's place when Kara's memory was at stake. Instead of attempting to save her, Alice just sits curled up in a ball, waiting. I'm not a huge fan of North because she's a complete psychopath serial killer. She literally wants to murder every single human that comes by their way, and she shows no remorse for it. And she keeps using these very extreme, like, oh, humans hate us. Also, she puts way too much pressure on Marcus for being a good leader when she herself does like absolutely nothing. Like, okay. In my playthrough, okay, there was this incident where there was like this drone and I couldn't like figure out how to, you know, secure the drone or like get rid of the drone. During that chapter, Marcus is doing all the heavy lifting. He's like running around, like changing wires, disabling like security cameras. He's opening like the truck needed to like crash into the store. Like he's blocking the road. Like he's doing everything. And she has the audacity to like hand him some pliers and say, "What would you do without me?" Bitch, we're doing everything without you! What the fuck are you talking about? And then at the very end of the chapter, when we fail the mission, she's so pissed off. I'm like, girl, you could have been doing something. Like, no, what have you been doing this entire day? You're just running around following me. Like, why don't you secure the drone, huh? I'm just pissed off. Overall, the game was fun to play, but I just think the end, like, okay, maybe I just got like a bad ending. Maybe I just got a bad egg. I don't know, but I want to replay the game because I'm upset with my endings. And maybe that's the whole point, you know? I don't know, you know? If you made it this far, that means that you deserve a little pat on the head and maybe a little lollipop.
I hate cocktail parties.